3, 2. Hi YouTube, this is Kyle from Landfight, and I'm here with Nick, and we're gonna talk about some decks today and some cards, and just chat about Landfight.
Yeah, this is the first ever episode of the Landfight TCG. Me and Kyle have been talking about this for a little while now. Finally getting it off the ground. Hopefully everyone that comes and plays here will come and watch, and hopefully we get a couple newcomers on the way.
Yeah, get some people talking with us at some point, and
yeah. Do you want to start and just talk about what Landfight is?
So Landfight is a trading card game. You start with a 50 card deck. You get one card, which is your land here. So essentially, it comes onto your field immediately. You shuffle your deck, you draw 5, you can summon creatures, you can summon boost. Boost will help your creatures get stronger. They'll help destroy other creatures, they'll let you draw cards. And it's just a battle game pretty much. We do master packs and starter decks, and we did these planetary destruction boxes a little while ago. So a lot of different items to kind of build up your decks.
Yeah, I think the most recent product we released was the Sorcery Structure deck. Definitely something we'll be talking about today.
Yeah, I love that. I'm actually playing that myself right here.
Yeah. I've been playing Aliens myself, which was one of the first booster boxes ever released for Landfight about, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, me personally, I didn't get into the game until, what, like 2000
It was earlier this year. I think like January this year.
I thought it was last, yeah.
It might have been end of last year.
Yeah, that sounds all right. But I say we started in a pod-like format when I first got into the game. But then as we started playing and people started watching us, we got more and more newcomers. And now we're getting like 6, 8, 10 people over.
Yeah, it's really great. We've had a lot of people, testing the waters with the game and doing stuff as the creator that I never even would have thought of myself, which is really cool. That's what's cool about TCGs is they're puzzle pieces. You open a new box of cards. How do you fit this puzzle together to build something really creative and cool?
Yeah. And the beautiful part about hosting this podcast is that for a lot of you probably already know the fundamentals of the game, so we can kind of just talk open-heartedly and explain what we think the meta is. Me and Kyle, we talk a lot on the phone a lot, like little girls at home, and we just talk about the meta, what we think will be good. There are a lot of underdog cards that we're probably going to talk about throughout, and we're very excited for this week's tournament. We'll definitely, next week, we'll give you a very good tournament report after.
Yeah. I'm very excited because this is the first tournament since the most recent ban list for the game, which definitely fixed up the game a lot, and I think it's a lot more playable now. And I don't think anyone was too upset. I think everybody was just generally happy with where the game's going to be at.
Yeah, the game slowed down considerably, which is what it needed.
It got fast quick.
Yeah, it did. We have a couple buddies that discovered some crazy combos, and even me myself, when I first started playing the game, I even discovered some crazy stuff. I discovered Aliens were the best deck pre-ban list.
They were the best deck at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that had released was the structure decks, Future Extinction,
and Majestic Comeback.
And Phoenix decks were out too, and
That's
Aliens
right.
were still crazy.
Yeah, and no one knew until I started really starting to play it.
Yeah, it was funny because we sat down to play, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
this is really good. No one locally was playing it. Now I'm sure there's someone out there that's ordered our product that has played it, but locally here, no one has played it.
Yeah, when I first played it, because that was my first introduction to the game, and I've loved it ever since. I mean, I'm more of a Yu-Gi-Oh player myself, and taking a break from the game to play something a little more casual, something a little more fun, get together with the friends and family. It's a blast. I love it.
And we've actually had people that have played Yu-Gi-Oh are playing this now, and played Magic that are playing this now. People that's never played card games playing this. And there was a Pokemon player that jumped in on this too, because it was Mark, and he actually was creating the craziest combos for the game.
Yeah, he introduced the first FTK.
He did.
Of Landfight.
It was very unfair, and I was like, okay, this is an issue. Hey, it's funny, but it was an issue, and that's how we learn as a gaming company is people that break the game help us fix the game.
Yeah, I'm very excited to grow with you guys and learn from you, and we can keep seeing what the players do. Because with me and you, obviously we test all the time, but there's even stuff we overlook that we never even thought of. Oh man, that's crazy. Like Burning Light, for example, we never would have thought that card would have been good.
There's a lot of cards. You go through these stacks here, and we have tons of stacks of cards. You'll swipe through it looking for a certain thing and just completely ignore what could be good.
I say actually that's a pretty good segue to talk about what we think is good.
All right, so I think we should talk about probably the top 10 like playable cards in the game.
Playable card, like what do you mean by playable? Like staples?
Like, yeah, staples. So staples are cards that you could put in virtually any deck. You know, there might be one or two that you wouldn't want that in your deck because you're building a certain thing, but virtually in any deck.
Well, I will tell you, from starting the game, I remember when I first started, I used to think cards like, double draw and like, what was it, draw of fate? Those were like busting. Because back then they were at 4, but now they're at 1 if you've seen the most recent ban list. And
double draw, is it at 1 as well? Or
yeah. Because we
draw potions at 2.
Yeah,
and double draw is at 1.
And the hand for hand is also at 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Trust me, we'll talk about a bunch of combos as further we go along this episode. Because I mean, there's tons of stuff like we've talked about all the time, where like there's potential little things you can do. It's just hard to execute. But if like obviously we talk about it and it happens, we can get people to try it. Because that's what I want. I want a diverse meta. I want different things. I want to see different things. But yeah, let's start talking about staples. I'll tell you what, right now, Disruptor is like really slept on.
So there's a card called Debilitating Disruptor, which essentially is you pay 2 life, and all your opponent's creatures lose their additional strength this turn, which is going to be a problem for this new sorcery deck.
Yeah, I say it's the land, isn't it? That gives it the +1 if you do not add a pedal.
Yeah, but when you get pedal 4 out, when you have all pedal 1, 2, and 3 in your ruins, you gain 3 strength all the time. So Disruptor will be a good way to combat that, because if there are small creatures that are 1s and 2s are coming in as 4s and 5s, you need that Disruptor. You need to stop them, and that came out.
That was like the first Mega Pack, right?
Eternal Warfare is what it came out.
Yeah. Really?
That's what Eternal Witness came out of.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, Eternal Witness was huge. That was the first Master Pack. Yeah.
Well, and this isn't the only deck I even think of Disruptor for either, because for a lot of players that play the game and are coming just to watch and listen to us talk about Landfight, I mean, like Stella meta was crazy back then. I mean, you could play this card that said when you attack directly, you could summon a card from the graveyard.
When your opponent attacks directly.
Yeah, sorry, when your opponent attacks directly, and it just was an instant 8 in the battle phase, which is very hard to deal with, especially when there's no not until now there's battle phase cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was an issue because Stella base stat was 5, which is still kind of good.
Yeah.
But if you summon a 6 and you destroyed Stella and then try to attack me directly, I can bring Stella back and she goes up +3, makes her 8. And what do you do at that point to fix that issue?
That was when that meta first, because I think you were the first one to really popularize it.
Yeah, I was I try to play Pure Werecats, and it just doesn't have the stuff it needs, not until September, to be relevant.
Yes.
But I did see the potential with Stella, because I went 2-1. There was 3 rounds. I won 2 and I lost 1 in that tournament with Pure. I think I lost to you that night.
You did, yeah, because I think I was I believe I was on Aliens at that point.
I think you were actually doing Zombies.
That's right, it was Pure Zombies at the time, but then a revolutionary, I'll let you talk about that, a revolutionary idea came that we both had was Zombie Werecat. It was just a broken deck that could set up a graveyard so nicely. Yeah, so you
Oh, no, it was just funny, because what happened was we both came into work, and I was like, he's like, I have a great idea. I said, I have a great idea. And then I tell him my idea, and he's like, dude, that was my idea. And we hit it at the same.
It's just so smart. It's like they go together so well.
Zombie was really good, but it wasn't strong enough.
No, because the power wasn't there. So all the base toughness was what, 4 and 5?
Right? 4, all 4s.
That's right. Lord, what is a 4? And it wasn't until we thought of Stella. She's the one that keeps us in the game. Because anyone can clear 4, like any deck, but not many very decks can take care of an 8, especially at that time where the meta was. No one knew how to out that. So just having Zombie Werecat as an option, it was literally probably the best deck in the game.
No, it was, because so Lord of Blood could summon 2 zombies from the grave once per turn. So if you sent your zombies to the ruins, you could bring them back. But so you'd easily get 3 4s out, which is still just a lot of bodies. And if you survive your next turn, you got 2 more 4s, so you got 5 4s. But your opponent, if they get a 6 out, what do you do in zombies? You lose.
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard without cards like Eye for an Eye or.
An Eye for an Eye was definitely a staple in zombies before
Yeah.
Werecats hit. But zombie Werecat is, I mean, at this point, almost iconic within the game because it gave you the power you needed. So you had that power and the swarm. So your opponent, so by the time your opponent would out Stella, you would have enough zombies to just win.
Yeah, and not only that, but check out the deck profile. That was me, all me.
Yeah,
I
you
really
got
should
that
have.
video.
I should really have 2 deck
Oh,
profiles.
I know.
That first pod I ever played, I actually won, and not in the pod, but I played everyone individually. But we didn't consider it a tournament at the time.
Yeah.
You guys could have seen 4 Darzos and 4 Teamfight. That's what made that deck so good. And that's why aliens are slowly creeping back up. But with Teamfight coming back, it's going to be really fun to see what I can do with that.
We brought Team Fight back from 1 to 2 in our third list here.
Yeah.
And Team Fight is solid.
It is. It definitely. I actually didn't even put it on the list.
No.
I didn't think about it because the thing with Teamfight is I feel like it's fell off over the months that we've been playing because I feel like more than not now we would rather remove it from the field before we enter the battle phase.
Mm-hmm.
Some decks are battle phase focused, like Knights for example. I think of them first thing, and I'm sure Zach, if you're listening, he understands that.
And Team Fight is one of those cards that can be played in a lot of decks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say every, because not every deck is Swarm, but I just like decks that you're gonna have 3+ creatures. You might as well play Team Fight.
It's definitely worth the
Like
deck space.
I've been thinking about throwing it in sorcerers because I always get at least a few out on board and just swing, and they already get that +3 with the petals, so
Yeah.
they potentially get +5, +6 with that. It's if not more.
So what do you think about hand for hand?
Hand for hand. Okay, so I like hand for hand, but it's very situational. Like, it's good to if you don't have anything, just run it. And it's also good that if your opponent has say 6 cards in hand and you have 1, just play that. There's been times where the only card I had in my hand was boost cancel and hand for hand. I played hand for hand. My opponent boost canceled. I boost canceled their boost cancel. So I still got to run the hand for hand and get a whole new. It puts me at 5. It puts them at 4.
I don't think hand for hand's true potential has been unlocked yet. We've been talking about it forever, but I feel like the hand ripping that can happen with that deck or with that card is just insane.
No, the card is crazy, but I feel like it hasn't found its spot yet.
I think you give it some time. I think we'll find a pile deck, which I don't. This game has found that a couple times, like pile.
That's a good variety.
There is there's definitely archetypes in this game, and the archetypes are good. But there's also definitely times where you can just put in 3 different archetypes and they all work really well together.
Yeah.
That's about what I'm doing right now.
Now, speaking of archetypes, what cards? So, what do you think are the top 3 cards that are not in your main archetype that could be put in any deck? Top 3 creatures.
You want me to just listen?
Yeah, just list them.
All right. So give an explanation between each one, or just talk about them all.
You can sum it up.
Okay. So definitely number 1. If you guys haven't bought Planetary, please do. It's a great product. One of the best cards ever released in Landfight is in there. Sable Siren. That card is the nuts. It's a medium. Yeah. It searches for any boost card. The stat line isn't great for a medium, but who cares? You're gonna search a great card,
and it's still worth it limited to 1, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's just a search.
It's search for anything.
It don't matter if you're playing darks, fires, whatever.
Nope.
If there's a certain boost, it can help you out in any scenario. You play that, you get whatever boost you need to fix your situation.
Yeah. I would definitely say number 2 for me would probably be Seraphina. Seraphina has been a classic for a while for this game.
Yeah, it's just a draw 1.
It's a 1-drop for a body and a draw, which can be really good paired up with New Arsenal, for example. For a while, our meta was really crazy where we're going Seraphina, draw, New Arsenal, search.
And New Arsenal search is a boost when you destroy a small creature, so
it pairs so well.
It's definitely like butter on bread.
It is butter on bread.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I have some stuff written down because I want to make sure.
Well, I guess the 3rd would be what we talked about earlier, is Werecat, Stella. Stella can go in almost anything.
See, all right, I'll tell you what. You explain that, and I'm gonna come with a rebuttal.
just any deck you could throw in Werecat Cola to land, right?
Yeah.
Throw in Stella and just bring Stella back. It's not as good as like Sable Siren or Seraphina is, but it's a free summon in whatever you put it in.
So here's my rebuttal. So a big side option, not really a side option, but like
I know where you're
what I'm
going.
talking- Yeah. So there's been a card I've had my eyes on for a long time, especially with the recent banning of Life Switch. I think Plus Knight is so slept on, it's insane.
And it's crazy because it came out in the original Dark deck, one of the first 6 structured decks in the game, Battle Pack decks.
I found with my deck that the best going first board has been 2 Plus Knights with boost cancel. Now, of course, you're not gonna be able to make that board every time, but if I can do it consistently as much as possible, that's what I go for. And then on the snapback, I kill. You know what I mean?
So what does it make? So you always complain about gain life cards. What makes Plus Knight better than other gain life cards?
So Plus Knight is continuous. In this game, your opponent is searching for the cards they need to out your board. There's not a lot of search cards in this game. There are quite a few draw cards. So the fact that I can play a card that says like gain a life for every time you draw, you play Draw Fate, you're losing 2, I'm gaining 2. Draw a card for turn, I'm gaining off that too. I've had games where I've gone all the way up to 106 life.
Yeah.
If you remember that, yeah.
So with Eternal Witness, you pay 5 and then you gain 2 back if you do double.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane. I think that card is so slept on because another one of my favorite cards, Combined Society, which is next on my list for the best boost. You discard a card of an archetype, you can add another archetype card.
And if you guys seen our early on videos, Landfight works on a double archetype stat.
Yep.
So Earth and Earth may be the same archetype, but Earth Alien and Earth Werecat, they're 2 different creatures.
Yeah.
2 different archetypes.
Yep.
Or like a water alien or an Earth alien, like just examples, are 2 different archetypes because it's like a double archetype system.
Yeah, and that's just like the beauty of it. I mean, like, but I really do think that. I think Plus Knight is absolutely
Plus Knight is
insane.
good. I'm gonna swipe through here. There's a card in here that I think is, not well known enough yet, but I think this card right here, Xylia, predecessor of the Chosen. She's a discard 1, draw 1. I think that's pretty solid. It's not as good as Seraphina, but I think that could be splashed in other decks at some point.
It sets up the graveyard really well for potential combo pieces. I mean, there's other decks besides just like Lotus Petals that need the graveyard.
Yeah.
Like zombies, you can fill it up with zombies, you can fill it up with
And that's
aliens.
a dark like zombies.
That is,
So
yeah.
if you're running dark strains, that could be thrown in there. Or even, so in September, when the 2 new Werecat cards come out that let you summon your Werecats from your ruins,
Yeah.
you could run that in there and splash that in there. You could discard, Stella.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
get to draw it. You get a creature, a discard, and draw.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a card from a structure that might be tagged in some random decks at some point.
I do think they're large. They're large.
They got a couple of larges.
Well, it's when it's summoned. I think it's like Zatron. Is that right?
Zorion.
Yes, Zorion. When it's summoned, you can look at the top 3 cards. This dude right here. You can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can add a boost from your deck to your hand. I think that is going to be really, really splashable in the future. I'm not sure when that card will see more play, but I think at some point.
There's also, so that goes to your hand, and then with Astraeus, you can summon a small or medium dark creature that you find there, which could be good in some dark-based archetypes like knights or zombies.
Yeah.
The zombies all medium, so it's just another body.
Yeah.
So, but I get the one you could dig for a boost.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what's so good about it, because like imagine like, and this is a good segue as well. You add it and then you get a draw card. What are the best draw cards? Like, what do you think? Best draw cards.
Oh yeah, so like easy draw, easy. That's easy, right? you pay one. I don't even. That's not even pun intended. I'm just saying it's an easy choice. You pay 1, you draw 2, and paying 1 of your 40 life. That's like 2% of your life. It's just cake.
Cool.
Draw Faith just to pay 2, draw 2. Simple.
Yeah.
My favorite draw card in the game right now is Eternal Witness. it gives you options. Okay, Eternal Witness says pay 5. Both of us draw 2. Both of us discard 2, or we destroy 1 creature on each field. Where does that I mean, almost every time I have Eternal Witness, at some point in the game, I'm going to use that for some reason. Whether I have to dig for cards, or if I'm drawing a lot, I'll get rid of 2 of your cards, make you handicapped.
Yeah.
Or if you have a creature I can't get rid of.
So if we're talking draw cards in my deck that I want of all time, draw push.
Oh yeah, it's just a draw one. It's a free draw one.
It makes your 49 card deck into a 47 card deck.
Because you can play 2.
Exactly. It makes your chances much higher of drawing whatever you want. I mean, it's the same argument of Upstart Goblin. Back then, people played 3 of that because it made your deck.
And the thing is draw potion has no downside.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
your opponent isn't going to boost cancel a draw 1. They might, if it's say you have no cards in your hand and you draw a draw potion, they might do it just to be mean or whatever. But 99% of the time, why waste your boost cancel on a draw 1?
It's just not worth it.
I would, because then if they draw on a boost cancels the boost that you want to get rid of. But if they don't draw nothing, then you wasted. If they wouldn't have drawn nothing, you wasted your boost cancel.
Well, that's how with New Arsenal, for example. When that was really, really big. I mean, it's still somewhat big now, but when people are doing it all the time, I would always wait till they search the card, then boost cancel that. Because in Landfight, there is not necessarily a cost. When you activate the card and you negate it,
It fizzles out.
Yeah. And that's been a fun conversation for me to have.
Yeah.
Because I like the judge questions a lot. I like the ruling part of it, because I'm a big believer in, if you know the rulings better than your opponent does, you have a much bigger chance of.
It gives you ideas.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it gives you the competitive advantage.
Right. Well, the thing about the no cost is it's simple for people that haven't played card games,
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, so this stops that.
Yeah.
It's just done.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things we did with Landfight to make it more simplified. But there's definitely complex stuff. Like we were talking about when the Sorcerer decks came out, they were probably the most complex deck to figure out from a inbox standpoint.
Yeah, in-box, it was very complicated, but once we did the upgrades, it was still complicated because the deck itself was very, you had to think really hard, because, you gotta think, every time you play the card and discard and draws a card, you are technically losing a card.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, either way, you're losing a hand to discard with. So you have to be very careful with what you search, what you discard with, and what you play.
Or you'll be out of your entire hand.
Exactly.
But if you do it right, you'll have the competitive advantage.
You'll have a very big payoff. We've talked about pedal OTK, we've talked about handwritten for this deck, and it's still very new. It's about to see its first tournament. We have a couple players that come here a lot that are about to test, including Kyle here.
I'm playing it essentially set my board up, get them all +3. And that's usually enough to take the game.
Not many people can handle a 10.
No. And so you can't, so I knock out with your 10, and then I get a bunch of 7s though.
Yeah.
So.
What is the most sad ban that you've seen for a card? What card were you just do we have to get rid of that?
Do we have to get rid of that?
I already know mine.
I enjoyed Recovering Gold.
I did as well.
But
I did as well.
the card was crazy.
The fact that it said mill 5, choose any 2 from the ruins.
It should have said maybe choose 2 from the ruins, then mill 5, or mill 5 and choose 2 of those 5.
Those 5 is how it should be.
Either or.
Because it was supposed to be
It was supposed to be choose 2, then mill 5. It's what the card, the original wording was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, which is still really good, but it felt more of a cost. But now it felt more with the way it was, it's I just get whatever I want.
Yeah. So I kind of have 2 answers to that question. I have my biased answer, and I have my real answer. My biased answer is always going to be Bob Quinn Darzo.
Oh, well, I thought you meant ban.
Well, it could be limited or semi-limited. Do you have one for that?
Oh, yeah. Biased?
Yeah, you can be biased.
Luminara Serafina. Alright.
Yeah, that.
Alright, so Luminara was draw 3, discard 1, large 6.
Yeah.
Heck, if it was a large 3, it might have stayed, but like, I don't know. It was still broken.
It was really good.
I would put Luminara and then Seraphina in any deck I played and drew into whatever I wanted, but we had to stop that.
Yeah, it was too much draw power, and that was a big problem for a while. It's like you could just draw your whole deck, but yeah, if I'm being biased, I'm saying Darzo and Bobcliff. They are the non-once per turn searchers for aliens. They search you any alien card you can ever desire. But if I'm not being biased, and actually I'm sad about a card leaving the game, I have to say Willow. I think Fairy meta was really fun. It was really annoying, and I complained that same tournament.
I think Fairy's still good.
Yeah, it is still good.
It's just not as good.
Because Willow's at 2 now, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Willow is a small, that's a 1 that says all mediums on the field lose 2 strength. And
their large says, or their land says no larges.
Yeah, they're large. They don't even have a large.
Their land says you can't have larges. So their whole archetype is just small, medium, and they would cripple the mediums. I think the deck's still good, but it's all about balancing all the decks because we want every deck to be competitive.
Diverse meta is what we want.
We want everybody to walk in with different things, which this Thursday, everybody's walking in with sorcery just about.
Yeah.
Because it's new.
It's fun. It is. It's fun.
And, a lot of people might be playing that, and an older deck might still be better.
Yeah.
But we all enjoy this deck. We enjoy the art. We enjoy the playability of it. I don't know. I think it's the best starter deck or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That's been released. Best battle pack.
You say that's the best battle pack?
Best battle pack. I think it's better than Phoenix, and I think it's better than the first original 6.
I think Phoenix still has more of an edge in that because Phoenix made one of my favorite deck playstyles viable. And that's OTK.
Oh yeah, because
Majestic Unity is an insane bonkers card.
It's still at 1.
It is. It's a lot harder to pull off now.
Oh well, I mean with the Sable Siren, no one's tested that.
Yeah.
No one's put Sable Siren Search Unity.
No.
And all the strength cards are back, and I don't know who's all going to be playing all the strength cards, but the strength cards are good. It depends what you want for your deck.
It's like I said, some decks are more battle phase focused, and some are more like, I want to remove this before I enter the battle phase. And I think I may have gotten that outlook from the Stella meta, because if I'm going to the battle phase, I'm going to kill every creature. Now I have to deal with this, Stella here. And it's hard. It's difficult to out sometimes. Especially when none of my creatures get above 8. It's like, oh great, now I have to have a Runes Defense, I have to have a Disruptor, creature cancel, I gotta have something. But alright, let's talk about prediction for this week. What do you think some of the meta decks are gonna be this week?
I think it's gonna be variants of sorcerers.
What do you mean variants? You mean
everybody's going to play sorcerer in some way, shape, or form, and it's gonna be built different.
Yeah. You think we'll see Werecat?
Maybe.
That'd be really hard to do because the land for sorcery, it's free petal search, and it's hard to get the petals of the graveyard without doing that.
And it'll be interesting to see if people are just not playing the petals at all and just playing a whole different idea with their sorcerer deck.
That's how I would do it if I was to play sorcery. I would play Hand Rip, is what I would suggest. Because Hand Rip with sorcery just seems so easy. You're already discarding a bunch of cards that don't matter, and you have something to set up in the graveyard. Little reborn cards.
I built mine mine's mainly still sorcery. It's definitely petal. I'm playing 2 of the 4s and then 1 of each of the others.
Yeah.
I like getting double 4s out, and plus if someone plays Begone Energy and destroys one, I still have one in deck. There's the removal with Oasis of Dark Magic in there. That is so good. It says let me get 2 of my sorcerers.
Yeah. I think this week we will see, I also agree, I think we'll see sorcerer variants. I think that we'll also have some throwback decks. I think people are going to try to kind of combine the 2.
Yeah.
I know me personally, I'm playing a throwback deck. I'm still on Aliens. I'm going to be on Aliens for forever, until it dies. I'm a diehard fan.
You're playing a new variant this week, which I won't talk about.
Yeah, but I'm playing I'm ready for the sorcerer matchup. I've toned the deck to where I can counter it very well. I've never been a guy to play anti-meta very often, but I figured this would be the first time I give it a shot. Because I usually play about tier 2 like rogue decks. But this time I'm gonna try to play some easy.
Yeah, and people were picking up sorcery decks left and right, so everybody is going to be on sorcery. So you're like, hey, what can I do to stop this? There's gonna be a lot of mirror match type deals, but everybody's playing it slightly different, and I'll be interested to see what people did to their sorcery decks, and I'll see if anyone else is, bringing in the throwback stuff. I don't know what else is being played this week. I'm pretty pumped though.
I am as well. I'm very excited to see all the stuff coming. I know there's a lot of upcoming releases, right?
So September's got 2 big releases on the horizon.
How do you think that'll impact the meta? Do you think that's because there's a couple cards in there that are quite good, and like the 2 destroy 2 boost.
So all right.
Yeah.
Let's start with the water deck. So we have the water deck. That's one of the products. It's really cool because there's a boost in it that says pay 5 life, destroy up to 2 continuous boost. So when that comes out, it's definitely gonna hurt the sorcerer deck. I don't think the power level of the creatures are as good though, but there is the large is a 3 that gets +1 for every card in your hand.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you build your hand up right, if you figure it out, it'll be really powerful.
Is that the creature that does that?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And it's base 3, so Disruptor doesn't kill it.
Yeah.
That's
unlike command base.
Yeah.
Unlike command.
Well, it's a large, so it's not a medium. And if you have 4 or 5 cards in your hand, it's a 7 or 8. But if you can figure out some sort of combo to build your hand up, you're looking at a strong creature.
Yeah.
And there's other boosts. There is one that's like a discard 1 card, return 1 card on the field back to the hand in that. I think the water deck's going to be interesting. And the water's had a lot of stuff come out. So here's the thing, is no one's built water.
Yeah.
No one locally.
No.
And we've released water stuff in almost everything.
Yeah. We had pirates, we had sirens, they're water.
No, they're earth.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're sea serpents.
That's right.
We have sea serpents, we have pirates, we have just
firefighters.
Yeah, firefighters. Yeah. And speaking of firefighters, so Tides of Havoc comes out next month. And here's the thing. So the water structure deck is going to have one of the best staples for getting rid of continuous boost. So you need to pick that up. But also, once you have that, you can start merging some of the water stuff with the stuff that comes out in Tides of Havoc, which is our next master pack.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about it because we have supports for pirates. We have supports for firefighters. We have support for gremlins. Like all the decks that aren't seeing play at this moment are getting more stuff.
Yeah.
Which changes the game a lot.
Yeah, I think it's funny you said because I remember when I first picked up the game, I wanted to play Sea Serpents, but unfortunately at the time it was like the whole stuff.
Yeah.
So just it was like non-existent.
You need the Rise of the King Serpents battle pack that comes out. That deck will be good.
How much is that stuff for?
It'll be about $20 on that deck.
Yeah. What about the master packs?
Same price. But the master packs are a 54 card booster pack.
Yeah.
It's not your typical 10 or 15 cards. It's like, depending on what game you're used to, it's like 3 to 5 booster packs combined, depending on what game you play, which is really awesome. It's really fun. And there's a new rarity called a chromatic rare. So the way chromatic rares work is the entire theme of the card is unique.
Yeah.
Right?
They're like, are they gonna be like the new ultimate rare? Because I know we have like red rares and we have like the pro.
So we have red rares. So chromatic rare is 1 step below or above red rare.
Oh, okay.
So in the master packs, the chromatic rare will be like 1 out of every like 10 master packs.
Yeah.
So I mean, at $20 a box, dude, that's tough pull rates.
That is.
But he comes in the lower rarity. So it's the new pirate creature. He's a strength 6 that negates your opponent's land ability. So if you get that on your field, your opponent's land does nothing.
You know, and that is a great conversation I've wanted to have for like forever. Like, what do you think of a meta that would just have both lands be negated? Like we're just playing with our creatures and boosts.
It would be like, I think it would be very stick and poke. You know?
Yeah, I think so too. So like I said, I'm a big Alien fan. We have Alien Invasion and Distant Land, both pretty good Alien cards, especially when Bobcat was at 4. I mean, it was like turn 0, summon of an alien. But what made it so good is I started playing draw land, and I started playing other lands that don't have to do with the alien stuff. Now I'm kind of on a kick with that. I kind of like doing that.
Well, the good thing for you is in Tides of Havoc, I think there's either 10 or 14 brand new lands. And they're not generic to any archetype. They just do random stuff.
Yeah.
There's one that says you can control 8 creatures. Like,
That's going to be fun.
there's different things like that in that sense that make it really good.
Oh, I got a fun rolling for you. You want to do some rollings?
Okay.
You want to do some rollings? Okay. So, as many of you guys that do play the game know, there's a land called Limiter. It says each opponent can control 3 cards, or 3 creatures, right? So if you have that land on the field with the 8, how does that work? How does it resolve?
Because they're both lands.
But it affects both players.
I think they would both fizzle.
Both fizzle?
We'd have to call it both fizzle.
That-
Because lands themselves are stationary, right? They don't come into play. They're
Yeah.
just automatically on the board. And there's no way to really argue what mine is do better, whatever. That's not an argument.
So I feel like we'd have to read even read the text, or I would say you can even round it down. So like I say if you want to control 3, yours control 8, put it in the middle. That's what, like
5 or 6.
5 or 6?
But
Probably 5.
I don't feel like that works either.
Probably not.
I think it double fizzles.
Yeah, but
It
I
has to.
asked you that because I thought of that rule.
That is a weird ruling, though. I like that. But I guess if you played like land stir no more that negates your opponent's land, then yours would become active that turn. I don't know. It's something we'll have to get back on the drawing board for because
Yeah. I see. I was just talking to Kyle this morning, and we talk every day, and I was like, I really think Limiter will be good.
I don't like that card.
I love Limiter. I love Meadow Valley and Limiter. I think they're both great lands.
I forget what Meadow Valley does.
So Meadow Valley says that neither player can gain additional strength.
Oh, that's right. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So, I mean, there's tons of decks.
Werecats. Oh no.
Aliens even command base just died.
And that came out in this, didn't it?
No. It was
the
like
last
Mega Pack.
Mega Pack. Okay.
Yeah. That card was absolutely. When it came out, I thought it was the nuts. I was like, this
Dude,
card is going to be good.
And that's the thing about this game is there's so many cards. It's a puzzle. I said that at the beginning.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
puzzle. It's just
It all wraps around.
Yeah,
no way.
You know, when we had a few months before the planetary box came out and the sorcerer decks come out, we had a few months of just like a dry spell product.
Yeah.
And what do? We just started coming up with the craziest stuff with the cards we already had that we never thought about. Because we didn't get bored of the game. We got bored of what we were playing though.
It was a format.
It was just the same stuff over and over again. So we started digging through our bulk and digging through the random cards we have that were created that we just shrugged. No one played New Arsenal before we were in the dry spell.
That's true.
No one did. And I went back and read all the cards in the original structures. I'm like, oh yeah.
There is a couple hidden texts we've been looking at. I don't know if you want to talk about them on here.
I will hold it off for now. We will make y'all guess. Once I show up at the tournament with this deck and use some of those hidden texts, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get tournament reports.
Because everybody's had the same power as we have to like get a hold of these cards because they've been out since the beginning of times.
Yeah. So, kind of to get off landfight. So, with us doing this, and obviously we want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
It's been fun.
It is very fun. It's nice to talk about something we love, and we all can kind of bond over. Because we've met a lot of really good friends because of this game.
Yes, we have.
I mean,
We've
like
had some really fun nights.
Yeah, I've met some really good buddies because of this, and I'm excited to keep meeting more people. And I would love to see what you guys think about how kind of like how the structure of the podcast and just kind of like what you guys want to see and hear.
Yeah, we're free to talk about just about anything.
Absolutely, I say anything that because we want to make it a good viewing pleasure for everybody. Because I don't know about you, Kyle, I'm a big podcast guy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. I mean, I used to listen to. I've been getting into Joe Rogan because of you a little bit.
I mean, he's got so many too. That's the
Oh,
thing.
I
It's
know.
endless content.
I know.
And that's what this game is, endless content.
It is.
Endless
it is.
fun.
It is endless fun.
And with the new stuff coming next month, I mean, we have plenty of stuff to talk about for a long time.
Yeah, and there's tons of stuff we haven't even covered. I mean, there's like different little metas, and we even talk about doing like little side formats. Like we're talking about doing like a pseudo commander like format.
Yeah, we're testing stuff out, and we're just discussing random stuff that we can do with this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cards in the card pool. There's a lot you can do. I mean, like,
and for such a new game, there's actually a lot of cards in the card pool. It's what it's starting to feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure the exact number, but I mean, we're at least 600 cards in the card pool right now, which doesn't sound too crazy, but for just starting it is. And every time we add 30 or 40 cards, it changes the game completely.
Yeah. I don't think there's ever been a set where nothing's changed.
No, because there's at least one card in that set that's going to be like a staple in every deck, and then there's other archetypes that are just people are going to test out and merge.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on, guys.
Pause.
Yeah. This card, Grave Hex. We didn't even bring it up today.
Oh my god, it was on my list too.
It's fine. This card came in the planetary box. It's limited to one per deck, but you need it in your deck. Copies any boost in either player's ruins at any time.
That's so random.
I know.
Play it. You better play it.
Grave Hex. No, seriously though. Like,
it is really.
Please put that card in your deck.
Yeah. There are tons of like normal boosts that you can copy that are just like absolutely insane.
Yeah, because it's interrupt. You can do that anytime.
I mean, think of like total destruction. Imagine your opponent goes battle phase with a full 6 board. All right, cool. Start battle phase. Activate. Copy total destruction. Phew. All gone. You don't even care.
Well, that's my random spaz out for the podcast. I was like, we didn't mention Grave Hex, which is one of the top cards right now.
I think my only spasm I'm gonna have before we end this is I definitely next week we have some ideas of what we want to start doing. I think we might do some tier list type stuff.
Yeah, we'll do whatever. We're going to get some good content out though.
Yeah, and we'll have to talk about next week and some other stuff we might want to do.
No, I agree.
Because this is raw. This is raw emotion.
This was just us getting out here talking about it, giving you guys something to watch, and we're going to get a lot more.
I say hopefully we can get some more gameplay videos going too.
I would love that. We have to get a new overhead camera. Ours broke, so once we get that, we can get going. But we will get more deck profiles out here though.
Yeah, I say keep watch for Thursday. If you guys are playing, you better show up or cowards.
True. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day, and thanks for watching us here at Landfight.